wonderful to hear, to rehash it. By the way, I mean, I think it needs to be said. Sully doesn't know this. Roberto doesn't know this. Hatchet texted me today saying, what do you want for lunch? And I replied, I thought you were doing this on Friday. I think he was trying to get out of buying you guys lunch.
No, not at all. But if you said you didn't want anything today, so you're not getting anything tomorrow. They'll get stuff.
No, I said I want it tomorrow.
But, you know, it's I looked up the stadiums, the stuff that you gave me. You cheated. One of those stadiums doesn't exist anymore. The other stadium, the company went bankrupt, so I thought for sure they changed the name. So, you know, you gave me things that you knew that, you know, I wouldn't get.
How many do you think I tried to screw you on?
2.
Okay, so you got 5 instead of 3. You still did get 8 of 10.
5, right. But if you take out the 2, 5 out of 8, that's way better than 3 out of 10. What are you talking about? 5 out of 8. I won.
No, 5 out of 10.
If you take the 2 out that I just said one doesn't exist.
Then you got 5.
One went, right, 5 out of the 8 total.
But 5 out of 10 you would have got. That's still a failing grade. Please.
I passed.
By the way, early critiques of Roberto's song. Awesome job. And then this one, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, I wasn't even in on this bet yesterday, but I am expecting lunch tomorrow.
No, yeah, we got you in there. Don't worry about it. You made a song.
Oh, no, he gets nothing.
Yeah.
What are we going to get for lunch?
He gets nothing.
I don't know. We can figure it out probably at the break, right? But something expensive, obviously.
Has to be, yeah.
No, you don't have
Yeah, for sure. Probably $100 a plate, I'm thinking. Anyway, I'm Jeff, in for Mike. Mike is back on Monday. We have a Tiger game tomorrow, the first official spring training game tomorrow on these very airwaves. Before the show tomorrow, that's very exciting. We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em, Tigers. World Series bound and picking up steam.
When the music stopped, Jeff, you were supposed to stop.
Go get 'em, there'll be joy in Tigers. Sorry. Anyway, so we got the Tigers tomorrow. And like I mentioned, Mike is back on Monday. A lot to get to in this program, including something that Stan Van Gundy had to say to the morning show. We'll kind of hit on that and the Pistons in general. Would you be upset if this Red Wing was traded? We'll get into that as well. And a Detroit legend said something that I could not disagree with more, but I think Sully might agree with it. So we'll get into that as well. But I need to start with something that I might be the only one in this room, or 2 rooms, that feel this way. But last night was a great night. Last night was fun. I watched Michigan take out Penn State. I hung out with the daughter. I mean, it was a great night. Then I sat down about 11 o'clock, right? And I turned on the fine movie Tin Cup with Kevin Costner. I was in the golf mood, right? I love the part where he goes for it at the very end. Sorry if I'm giving it away. Fantastic movie. Rene Russo looked fantastic. Yep. She was asleep. Olive was asleep. Anyway, so I watched about 30 minutes of that. Movie was over. And then I turned to the women's U.S. versus Canada gold medal game. And I watched from about the second period on. In the third period, it got really intense. The Canadians were up 2-1, but the Americans were outplaying them. And mind you, when I sat down to watch this thing, I had no intention of being emotionally involved. It was just something to pass the time because I wasn't tired to go to bed just yet, you know? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's on. We're going to watch. You would not believe how riveted I was by it. I got so into it, when they tied the game in the third period, I gave a fist pump, sent out a couple tweets. They went to overtime, the 20-minute extra session, and the United States, I mean, these women were amazing. They were all over the Canadians, all over them. And I was like, oh. I mean, I was like a hockey fan. I've never watched these women in my life.
What were you like?
Anyway, so we go to the skills competition part of it because it ends in a shootout. And everybody's so upset that it ends in a shootout. But it was a great shootout goal by the United States to win it. And it's funny because one sister tied the game and her sister won the game for the United States. I mean, it was kick-ass. It was amazing. And you would not believe how captivating it was. If you didn't watch it, you truly missed out. I was so into it, and I didn't realize. You know, sometimes like you make noises, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And I'm a loud guy anyhow. Right as Team Canada was trying to tie it up in the penalty shots, in the shootout at the very end after America had already scored, my wife comes down, and she's like looking around. She's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? I'm like, what? I'm like, here, sit down, watch this. and she starts yelling at me because apparently I woke her and Olive up. I'm hard. I kind of was. I really was. It was amazing. I'm hard.
Jeez, oh my.
So that's why you woke her up. Gotcha.
Yes, yes. Anyway, usually I go into the bathroom, and now I'm kidding. Anyway, but no, it's fantastic. It was a phenomenal hockey game, and it was kind of like watching a movie that you have no intention of actually liking or thinking that you would like. And by the end, you're just like, whoa. You pulled the Dan Leach. That was transcendent. This game yesterday was truly transcendent. It really was. It was freaking amazing. And I'm just curious to start things off. I got two things. Number one, I'm curious how many people got sucked in. Because I think a lot of people watched it because it was on at 10:45. And you probably started to watch it. You weren't quite ready for bedtime yet. You maybe heard or saw on Twitter that they were playing. And you started to watch, and you're like, okay, whatever. But the way they moved, how big the ice surface is, they were fast. It was an amazing hockey game. But the second part of it is, other than did you kind of get sucked in, which I totally did. But the other part of it is, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit this, but I feel that if I admit it, I'm going to have some backing. So I'm just going to take a deep breath and go ahead and do this. All right? I'm happy for the ladies. I am. I'm happy for Team America. The Canadians won 5 gold games in a row. So I'm happy that that was able to be snapped. But you know what I'm even happier about? And I feel like a jerk. I feel like a total a-hole for saying this. I got more joy out of Canada losing in hockey than I did out of the United States winning. And I'm just curious how many people feel this way because Doug seemed very put off that I had this belief. But there's something about beating Canada in their sport. They are. And I like Canadians. I like Tim Hortons. I used to go to Canada all the time when I was a kid. I used to go to Windsor and drink when I was 19. I wanted to move there when I was 19. I used to go to Don Cherry's. I partied there. And I was like, I'm hard. Anyway, it's a Saturday night. Actually, these days, it's a Tuesday night. But anyway, I like Canada. I like to find people in Canada. But there's something about beating them in hockey. Like I don't know if I'm the only one, and I want to ask you, 248-539-9797, but there's something so satisfying about knocking off the Canadians at their own sport because they're humble, great people. But when it comes to hockey, they're arrogant. And you know they think they'll always win. They even got a bogus penalty call late in that overtime that only Canada gets, and they almost won it with like 30 seconds remaining in the game. They care more than you do about hockey. It's their game. So to beat them in the biggest game on the stage, I thought was kick ass. I did. So I got two things. And we don't have to talk about it long, but I'm just curious how many people were sucked in last night because it was such a great game. 248-539-9797. And then the second part is, don't you, even if you don't watch hockey, even if you only watch every 4 years, even if you don't watch the Worlds or the Juniors, whatever the case is, but isn't it nice to beat Canada in hockey? I mean, oh, it feels so good. Like take that, Canada. Take it. Take it. Oh, they took it. They did. We'll come back. We'll get to some of your calls. But I'll give you another example, too, when we come back of how far I take this. Like, I love it when they lose in hockey. 97 won the ticket.